As you're watching this video about cutting, bulking, and recomping, I likely know three things about you. You've been training for at least a year, your progress has completely stalled, and the odds are that you're about to make the same mistake 90% of people make when they hit this exact point. Now, the other possibility is that you're well into one of these phases, a cut, bulk, or recomp, and you're now second-guessing your decision, wondering when you should change things up. I got you. This video is going to cover it all. Perhaps most importantly, why people waste 2 to 3 years stuck in a cycle of bulking and then cutting, but making zero progress. I see this pattern constantly, and there's actually a fairly simple solution to it, which I'll talk about later on. Now, if you're wondering why you should listen to me, my name's Andy Morgan. I'm the head coach at RipBody.com, where for over a decade, we've helped thousands of busy guys achieve transformations that they didn't believe possible, without the process dominating their lives. I am as sick of the biohacking crowd as you probably are. Conflicting advice, magic powders, ludicrous claims, one-way sales with no accountability. Rest assured, the answer is never in a supplement bottle or morning routine. Just real food, serious lifting, and data-driven decision-making. That's the Rip Body method. All right, let's get into it. Cut, bulk, or recomp. How to actually decide. Let's start by clearing up the confusion. When people ask, should I bulk or cut, what they're actually asking is, what's the fastest way for me to look better without screwing this up again? Should I be in a calorie deficit, a surplus, or at maintenance? Now, I've been asked this question almost every single day for the last 15 years. And the frustrating answer is, it depends. It depends on two things: how much body fat you have and how much effective training experience you have. Now, when I say effective training experience, this does not mean how long you've been going to the gym. It's how long you've been seriously training, how much progress you've made towards your genetic potential, and therefore your current potential rate of progress. And once you understand that, the decision becomes much simpler. Now, there are three legitimate paths: a cut, meaning a fat loss phase driven by a sustained calorie deficit; a bulk, which I prefer to call a gaining phase driven by a sustained calorie surplus; and body recomposition, which means to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, typically while holding weight stable by eating at maintenance calories. Now, you'll notice that this is all about your nutrition, not training. Your training, broadly speaking, won't change. What is effective when cutting is effective when bulking and recomping. And to get your dream physique, you are going to need to combine multiple phases. Often, that'll start with a recomp phase. Most of us go through it when we first start hitting the gym without even thinking about it. But should this be what you chase right now? Everyone, sure, they want to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, and it is possible providing the circumstances are right. However, it is easier to burn off fat than it is to gain muscle. Intuitively, I'm sure this makes sense to you. You can burn a house down faster than you can build it, right? So holding your body weight stable is to hope for an equal rate of fat loss and muscle gain. And this only works best if you're relatively new to serious training or returning after a long layoff when you've lost muscle. If you're an experienced lifter, progress during a recomp will be slow, hard to measure, and therefore hard to manage and stay motivated for. So I don't recommend recomposition for most experienced lifters. Sure, you can try it for a few months as an experiment if you want, but if you don't see your stomach measurements decreasing over time, you're not losing fat and you're not recomping. It's time to cut or bulk. What a cut actually is. So cutting is a fat loss phase. The goal is to lose fat while maintaining muscle. Your body weight will go down. This requires a calorie deficit. And yes, some people can and will gain muscle while cutting. That's more likely if you're new to training, carrying more body fat, and using a modest calorie deficit. But the leaner you are, the more advanced you are, and the harder you push that calorie deficit, the less likely that becomes. For most people, a cut is not where visible muscle growth happens. It's where you reveal what you've already built. The sweet spot for fat loss is roughly 0.5% of your body weight per week. For many guys, this is around a pound per week or half a kilo. This keeps things sustainable, protects against muscle losses, and makes it far more likely that you'll gain some muscle if you have the potential to as you lean out. So here's the rule for when to cut. If you're overweight or clearly carrying excess fat, you cut. Training experience does not change that decision. But what should you do if you're already lean? In that case, you probably want to bulk. What people mess up about bulking. Bulking is a weight gain phase. The goal is to gain muscle at a steady rate while minimizing fat gain. This is where so many of our clients messed up before they came to us. And there are two reasons this happens. First, they gain weight too fast and get too fat too soon. And second, they panic at the first sight of softness and they end the bulk early. In both cases, there's not enough time given for the growth to happen. Now, I use the word bulk because that's what you search for. But as I said, I prefer gaining because bulk implies unnecessary excess. Muscle takes time to build. The process rewards patience. The less advanced you are, the faster you can grow. The more advanced you are, the more disciplined you need to be. You'll see on my site that we have different recommended rates of body weight gain depending on how advanced you are. But this gets into the sticky territory of defining whether you're a beginner, novice, intermediate, or advanced trainee. So let's simplify things by saying this. Aim to gain 2 to 3 pounds of body weight per month. That's 1 to 1.5 kilograms per month. If you're a smaller person or have a lot of training experience, go with the bottom end of that range. Muscle gain is slow. It's likely that even if you do everything right, half of your total weight gain is going to be fat. Therefore, to make a meaningful difference to your physique, you're going to need to bulk for long enough. I often find myself recommending to clients that they bulk for at least 10 months. So, only bulk if you feel lean enough to do that without quitting partway through. This is the biggest mistake that people make. And if you can't do that, cut first. But what if you haven't been able to get a recomp to work and you don't feel lean enough to bulk and you don't feel like you have enough muscle mass to cut? People often call this skinny fat. Skinny fat and what to do about it. So skinny fat means someone of a healthy body weight but who is muscularly underdeveloped. Someone might describe this person as skinny with a pot belly, but more than often the appearance is not that different from someone who is lean but not muscled to the point that it's noticeable that they lift yet. Now, the lean and the skinny fat person can often look similar from the outside, but they're very different on the inside. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes you don't know until you flex and then nothing really happens. Now, if that's you, recomposition is usually the right call. Maintenance calories, progressive training, time and consistency. And if you're on the leaner end of skinny fat, a small surplus will work well. And if you're on the softer end, you're carrying a few extra pounds, then a slow cut will probably work better for you. Either way, you're in a great position. Don't overcomplicate it, but don't second guess yourself partway through. This brings us to the most critical part of all of this. And that is when to switch phases is the part that people ignore. Physiques are built by alternating phases. Build, carve, repeat. You can't chisel a pebble and expect to end up with the statue of David. So, when do you switch? You got to stop cutting before you get stupid lean. When hunger is constant, performance drops, and food dominates your thoughts, and this is happening despite making sensible food choices, crafting your food environment, taking appropriate diet breaks, and having the minimum viable calorie deficit, all videos for another day, you're done. For men, that's often in the 10 to 15% body fat range, which you can see here in some of these client images. But no lower than 8%, because your body just isn't primed for muscle growth when you're starting from too lean of a point. Women, you need to add 8% to these numbers. Unfortunately, I don't have client pictures for women because we only work with men. We specialize in men. So further, I don't recommend bulking past around the 20% body fat point. It's not because of anabolic resistance, but because there are health consequences to carrying too much body fat. And it makes it harder to track the muscle gain as well. You'll note that those last 3 images I flashed on the screen are the before photos, and I appreciate our clients allowing us to share them. All right, let me summarize these recommendations before telling you the simple question to ask yourself if you're still feeling stuck and unable to choose. Cut, bulk, or recomp. Here are our guidelines. If you're overweight, cut. If you're underweight, bulk. If you're an inexperienced trainee in the 13 to 18% body fat range, recomp. Feel free to pause the video and read the rest. Now, if you are feeling stuck and unable to choose, just ask yourself this. Would you be okay gaining 25 pounds of body weight over the next 10 months with at least half of that being body fat? If yes, bulk, go for it. If not, you need to get a little leaner first, so cut. That's it. Pick the phase that matches your current reality, execute it well, and commit for long enough for the results to show up. I understand that this will mean that you might need to push to a point where you feel a little skinnier than you're comfortable with right now, but that is the cost of breaking out of this cycle. All right, if this video helped, you probably want the tools to make that execution easier. In the description, you'll see a link to our free 15-day transformation Kickstart bundle. We've got free training programs, a free nutrition setup guidance, and the same decision-making framework that we used with clients. No hacks, no supplements, no nonsense, just real food, serious lifting, and data-driven decision-making that works in the real world. Thank you for watching.